we are doing the Welcome Spring Watercolor Bunnies. All right, this sign, I did a kit with it last year and it was so popular. So I definitely had to do another kit with it, but it's discontinued after this year. So I have to find a new one for next year. So this is the sign, and it's got a lip here. It's pretty cool. And it does look like it's got like a wood background, very vintage looking with the bunny watercolors. Again, this looks like my bunny Charles. So this is the sign we're using, okay? You also get a roll of this great natural border stripe snowdrift mesh. That's a lot to say. Border stripe snowdrift mesh, okay? Because we are going to see the mesh. We aren't going to see the middle of this, so this mesh works perfect for the design I'm going to do today. Okay, so you get that. You also get a roll of this gorgeous, now normally I don't like using the lace ribbons, but this year, because a lot of times, you know, the lace will come apart from the center of the ribbon, and the wholesaler really listened and made these ribbons a lot better, so they don't come apart and all that stuff. So I decided to use it this year because it's gorgeous. It's a lavender Swiss dot. I don't know if you guys can see. Lavender Swiss dot with the white lace ribbon. And then I paired it with this awesome bush. Look at this, my friends. So there's 9 stems on here, and they're push-ups. I'm gonna sit, my friend Charlotte calls them push-ups, like a push-up bra, so you can push them up. But look how nice this bush is. So we're gonna incorporate that into our design. This is going to be a kind of a less is more design in there. More my style rather than all kinds of ribbons and huge bows and all that stuff. And then of course you get your large board and your zip ties and your mounts and all that stuff, okay? Now I did put a little list together. If you order the kit, it will be automatically, a PDF will be automatically emailed to you so you can print it out. Okay, I'll also upload it into Unique Wreath Makers under the files. Okay, and if you already ordered the kit, I believe Tanya will email it to you for everybody who already ordered it. Okay, so what it says is row 1, we're going to cut 8 pieces of this mesh at 11 inches, and we're going to have 8 pieces of this ribbon cut at 14 inches. Okay, and row 1, we will be doing the kerfuffle. Row 2, we're going to use 16 pieces of 11 inches at mesh, and we're going to use 8 pieces, again, at 14 inches of the ribbon, and we're also going to be using 8 pieces, so 8 of these, incorporated into row 2. And then row 3 is just going to be mesh because row 3 sits below the sign. So row 3 pretty much just helps the sign sit up better. So that gives us a total of 32 pieces of mesh cut at 11 inches and 16 pieces of ribbon cut at 14 inches, okay? And I'm probably going to do just a simple little bow just at the bottom of the sign. And you're going to have a lot left over that you can add. Now, if you want to add more ribbon, you can. You'll have enough. It's totally up to you. Okay? Again, this is your project. You can look at the large board with... under the YouTube playlist, look under large board, check out any videos I've done using a large 12-inch metal center, and you can do it, if you don't like the way I'm doing it today, you can do it another way. So that's the beauty of, you know, having hundreds and hundreds of videos. You got lots of choices. But I think you'll like today's. I think you'll like today's, okay? And it's very easy, again, perfect for a beginner. And like I said, this style is really going to be the less is more, because it's going to be super stunning, especially this sign. This sign is super popular. Okay, so this is what we're using, and you guys will get a copy of that. Like I said, I will upload it into Unique Wreath Makers as well. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is, you do get your cable mounts and pipe cleaners. Where did mine go? Oh, right here. I am live, Jean. You're so cute. Okay, I'm going to take this off. You don't see the back of the sign anyways, but I always remove the tags. If you just want the sign, I believe we have this sign in stock. Keep in mind, I think it's been discontinued. I think I got, when I ordered this imported, that was pretty much the last of it. So, which is really sad because I love this sign. But it is MD0577. Okay, MD0577. If I don't have any more left, check Craft Outlet or Trendy Tree or Deco Exchange. One of them will have it. They also have the boards too. So you can order the sign and your boards from any one of those places as well. The border stripe mesh is, the drift border stripe mesh is RY811418. However, you can use whatever natural mesh you want. We have a lot of just the poly jute natural mesh in stock. So that will work just as well. And we have all kinds of gorgeous ribbons that just came in. So if you don't like the lace and the Swiss dots, you can use, you know, shimmer glitter, or just a solid purple, or just a solid, even natural color. So, or just pick something out of here. I think last year I used gray and purple for my ribbons. You can also incorporate some black, because the Welcome Spring, the wording is in black. And there's some black in there. So if you're one of those that like to incorporate black, feel free. So I'm going to kind of guess where the center of this is, which I probably shouldn't. Let's see. Because we want to make sure it's centered. So it is 12 inches. So the 12, so 6 inches this way. I'm just going to put my pipe cleaner. Okay, 6 inches that way. And the 6 is that way. This is Laurie math. And there we go. It's a good rough estimation of where my center is, right where the crossing is on my little pipe cleaners there. And I'll just put a little dot. There we go. That's how you can figure out where the center of your sign is supposed to go. All right, so I'm going to take the paper off. Taking this sticky backing off. I did order cable mounts with no adhesive thing. So soon we won't have to pull this sticky stuff off anymore, because it's much better to glue the actual plastic right to the metal. That way, if the sticky adhesive foam thing lets loose and the adhesive gives way, your sign's not going to fall off. Okay, I'm going to keep the string on because this is another not safety thing, but you can zip tie the string as a secondary precaution, I guess, so your sign doesn't fall off as well. So I'm going to use some super glue. You just slap that mount on. Good girl. Just again, although this is a rough surface, so we don't really have to scratch up because it's a rough surface. The cable mount will glue quite well. So I just put super glue, or you can do E6000, DAP, whatever like stronger glue you have. I'm putting it in the center of this one I gotta order some more, I'm almost out. In the center, and then I go around with my Gorilla hot glue, go around the edges. So I would use Gorilla Glue or Surebonder glue. And then we're just gonna put that right where our dot is. And push down. Now don't push down with your fingers. There's hot glue on there. You don't want it seeping up and burning your fingers. All right. There we go. Sign ready to go. I'm going to put it to the side and let it dry a bit. All right, so we need 32 pieces of mesh cut at 11 inches. Why I did 11 is so we use pretty much the whole roll. I hate having leftover mesh. So when you do 32 into 360, you get 11.25. So if you do 11, you'll have just a smidge left over. Okay, so if you have a cutting mat and a rotary cutter, you can roll it out. Make sure the bottom seam of the bottom edge of your mesh is lined up at one of your lines. Put your end of your mesh at 0, and we're going to cut it right down the 11 inch. Oh God, that hurt my shoulder. Whoa. Okay, now if you don't have a cutting mat and rotary cutter, that's okay. Get one of these cheapy fabric tape measures you get from the dollar store. Tape it to your table. I just scotch taped mine to my table. I am going to do exactly what I did. So I'm going to roll it out. I have the edge right at the edge of my fabric ruler here. I'm going to take my scissors. You think my shoulder would have hurt more yesterday after physio. I woke up this morning and oh my God, the pain. All right, take your scissors and then you're just going to cut up the 11. Okay, so however you have to cut your mesh, you need 32 pieces. Okay? Alrighty. We also need 16 pieces of ribbon cut at 14 inches. Okay? So I'm going to take my measure buddy. I'm going to pull out number 1. And when you pull out number 1 all the way, you got 14 inches right there. I think I only need 4 more pieces because I've already cut them. Hi Tracy, welcome. So I need 4. So I'm going to take the end of my ribbon, I'm just going to put it where the number 2 is, right at the end, because from here to here is 14 inches. And I'm going to go around 4 times. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then you're going to cut it off the roll. I just push it down and then I'll slide it off. Now you can use the ends. It does have grooves in the end. I get lazy. I'm just going to cut the end so that we have 4 pieces now. Yes, I tore the bicep muscle and I have 2 tears in my rotator cuff. So, but it's the bicep tear that's causing me the problems. Now I'm going to dovetail the ends of my ribbons. So you can As long as you butt them up nicely, so each end is the exact same. The directions don't come, just what you need, and well, it kind of has what you the directions on it, but normally you would just make it, watch the replay and make it when you get your kit. Just make it with me during the replay, so you can stop, start, do what I'm doing, and then you're going to fold it lengthwise, and from the folded edge to the outside corner. So when you fold it in half, you can see that that's folded there. We're gonna cut from the outside edge going upwards to the outside corner. Okay, now if you want to be really precise, you can actually, we're gonna do the other end. You can actually dovetail all your ribbons exactly the same by folding it in half, putting it down on your cutting mat or your ruler, put your thumb about the 1 inch mark and cut from the folded to the outside corner right above your thumb. And then that way every V is the same depth, okay? And then once you've done that, we're gonna fold them in half, all right? All right, there we go. So like I said, you need 16 of these. So just cut your 16, dovetail them, fold them in half, and just make a little pile for them, okay? And I think we're ready to rock and roll here and put this wreath together. So we're using the large board. Sorry guys, it's really sore today. I started already. We are using row 1. A lot of times I don't use row 1, but because the sign is a 12-inch sign, we want the wreath to be, you know, fairly large. And when I want a wreath to be larger than like our normal Unique and Creek wreaths, I use row 1. So what we're going to do is, or what I started is, where there's on the large board, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, you'll see that on the board. And I'm using the first hole to the right, and that's where I started, because we are going to do put a piece of mesh and ribbon just like this in this hole. We're skipping this one, we're doing the next one, we're skipping this one, and we're doing this one. And I will show you what we're doing. I'm just doing a simple kerfuffle. So you're just taking your zip tie, putting it in the hole, and we're going to go around the outside of the board. So you just put it kind of in an L shape on your table like that. You're going to take your mesh, okay? We're going to have the snowdrift border stripe to the right and left of us and curl up. I'm going to bring the bottom up, pretty much up to the middle. Doesn't have to be precise. You're going to bring the top down and just overlap the bottom a little bit. Just like that. So we have like an envelope type formation. And then I'm going to pinch it right up the center by dragging and pinching. Okay, so this is what we got. And there's our cut seams. I'm then going to take a piece of my ribbon, just pinch it in the middle, and I'm going to flip it up. All right, so it looks like a V shape. So I have that ready. And I'm going to take this bow tie formation, I'm going to put it facing down on the board in between the hole and the outside of the board. And I'm flipping it so it's straight like this. I'm flipping it upwards or downwards, I guess, so that the ruffles are facing the outside. I'm putting the ribbon right on top of where I pinched there, and I am going around doing up the zip tie. And before I do it super tight, I like to make sure that both ruffles are about the same length and my ribbon tails are about the same length, which they are, and then pull that tight. Okay, so we're going to skip this one and we're going to do this one. So we're doing row 1. And like I said, it makes the appearance of your wreath a lot larger. I'll do that again. So curl up. The striping is on the right and left hand side of you. You're just going to fold the bottom up to the middle, fold the top just slightly over the bottom like that. Pinch it up the middle. Get one of your ribbons. Now you can have your ribbons already pre-flipped, I guess you would call it, pre-flipped already, so you have it ready to go. Again, we're going to put our mesh right on top of the board, flip that mesh up towards the outside, take your ribbon piece, put it right on top where you've pinched, and do the zip tie up. Again, we're not going to make it super tight yet. Just make sure everything's nice and neat. You're even, tighten it up. We're going to skip this one, and this is the last one on row 1. So you're doing 8 pieces on row 1. Now, if you have a lot of zip ties, if you're just a beginner and, you know, some people kind of fumble around trying to put their ribbons and mesh on at the same time, no worries, because you do have 100 zip ties. What you can do is you can just do your kerfuffle. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate that you can use pipe cleaners. I just don't use them. I like the look better, the nice, neat, and the way everything is really nicely secured on the board. So I use zip ties. So make your kerfuffle, put it on your board, flip it outwards, okay, and do the zip tie up. Okay, there we go. And then what you can do is go over top again with another zip tie. Like I said, you have 100, and then you just can put your ribbon right on top and then do that zip tie over top. It doesn't take long to get the whole coordination skill of putting the mesh and the ribbon on together. It's just all practice. Okay, and then with your wire nippers, you're going to go down to the head of the zip tie and cut it. So sometimes these are not the sharpest tools in the shed. So you just, instead of going frontwards, if you go up to the side, it clips it much better. They're not meant to be hanging around forever. They're just like a one-time use thing. So, all right, that is our first row. It's super pretty. And then you're going to preload all the holes in row 2. So we're going to put 16 pieces on row 2. So you're going to go down, back up, and do your zip tie till you hear a zipping sound. And all the normal holes. So there's 16 of them. Okay? So I've preloaded row 2, and we're also going to preload row 3, just the normal holes. So that is 8 of them. So again, down and up. We're not going to do anything with row 4 and 5 because our sign is 12 inches and you won't see anything. So when I do flip this over, this is what the back of your wreath is going to look like. So that is all your customer is going to see. You're going to see it looks like stitching almost. Okay, so it's stays nice and neat. Alrighty. Now we're going to cut these pieces, these bushes. So what you want to do is you want to push. Okay, you're going to push this up, and there's a little stopper where the floral starts. So just push the greenery fern stuff up till you can't push it anymore, and then take your wire nippers and just cut it off the bush. Isn't that pretty? That's gorge. So we're going to do that for all of them. Now there is 9. We're only going to have to use 8. So I probably will incorporate the last one into my little bow that I'm going to make at the end on my sign. This is a really nice bush. It's got the dusting, what's that called? Flocking, just a little bit of flocking, just enough to give it like a hint of, almost like a heather. There we go. I know, this is beautiful. Much, much better than the one I had last year. Much better. Okay, so we have our greenery, we have our ribbons, and now the mesh. Now the way I'm going to do the mesh, I don't know if it has a name. I kind of called it on the instructions the clam. Sorry, pardon me, I'm thirsty. What I'm going to do is we are going to use the mesh, curl up, okay? You're going to put the snowdrift at the top and bottom, and there's your cut edges on the right and left, okay? I'm going to flip the bottom up to the top here. Bet you guys thought I was going to do the kerfuffle, didn't you? So you have this piece with the drift at the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch down at the bottom. Okay. And it looks like a clam. Right? So once we get it in the zip tie, we're going to separate it, the clam, and it gives it a really nice ruffle formation. Okay. So I am going to, what I'm going to do now, for those of you who are do Unique in the Creek wreaths a lot, you probably can do your mesh and your ribbon at the same time, or your mesh and your greenery at the same time. Because there is a lot of beginners, I'm going to go around and I'm going to put my mesh in first, and then I'm going to go over with zip ties again. Okay. Now you can try and do, like I said, the ribbon and mesh at the same time, but it's zip ties are cheap, so you're just going to put the end where you scrunched up, okay, about 1/2 inch fingertip into the zip tie and do it up. So again, I'll do it again. I think it looks like a clam fold it. So your cut edges are on the right and left. We are doing curl up. Just flipping this. And then I flip it to the left because I'm right-handed, and I'm gonna pleat along the bottom here where it's folded. Okay, and we'll just put it right into the zip tie. Now you'll see once I cut the zip tie tails, we can spread it apart and open it, and it's a really, really cool, it gives it a really cool look. So I'm gonna go, just like I said, I'm just gonna go in and put all the zip tie, mesh into the zip ties. If you want to do it with your, once I start the ribbon and greeneries, go for it. It's just easier for me to teach like this for beginners. Hi, Dre. So I pre-made a bunch. I just put little clips on the ends so I can just stick them right into the zip ties. And you can see that it starts to fill in, and then we'll open it up and it makes this awesome ruffle. And you get to see both sides of the stripe, because this is what you're paying the money for. The middle of this border stripe mesh is a, it's just a value mesh. So we want to see as much of that stripe as we can. Ooh, my stomach's grumbling. I made stew today in the Dutch oven, and it smells so wonderful. Isn't that filling in awesome? I love this petal. I haven't done it a lot of times. I think I think I did it on this last year's kit like this. Hello, my Barbara Craft. So we're going around, sticking it in. And then I'll come back around and I'll put the ribbons and my greenery in. It's just a lot easier, like I said, especially for beginners, to just put your mesh in first. And then we'll go back and put your ribbons and greenery and stuff in. Look at that. That didn't take very long at all, did it? We have one more. So we're just flipping the mesh up, matching up the drift, pleating or scrunching down along the bottom, and you kind of got this clam thing. Okay, I don't know what it is, Judy. It looks like a clam. I guess it's called a clam. All right. So I'm going to go around, and now I'm going to cut off all these zip tie tails. So that didn't take us long to put all those in. And for row 3, it will just be the clam petal, and that's pretty much, you'll just see the edges, and because the sign is so big. Okay, now, oh, missed one. I'm going to go around and put zip ties in again. Now again, if you're skilled enough that you can do this ribbon and mesh at the same time, go for it. I just wanted to show newbies just a little bit of an easier way until they get the hang of it. We're just going up, down and up each of this zip tie again. Okay, I'll start putting the stuff in and we'll just put the zip ties in as we go. Okay, so on row 1, we put 8 ribbon tails. Directly below the ribbon tails is another zip tie. Wherever there is the ribbon tails, I'm actually going to be putting the piece of greenery in, okay? So what you want to do is open it up, like spread it apart. Sometimes they're stuck and stuff. So you see all this gorgeousness. Just push it up as much as you can. All right, and then I'm just going to bend it just slightly, a little like an L. Stick it in till I'm going to do the zip tie up right below where the bunch begins. Okay, so I'm just going to do it like this and do the zip tie up. Now, like I said, it seems like a bit of zip tie, waste of zip ties, but if you can do it all in one, go for it. I'll just open all these up nice. Okay, and then once we got everything in, we're going to spread these apart. All right, the next one, there's no ribbon tail on row 1, so we're going to put a ribbon tail right into the zip tie. So you're just going to flip it up and put the rounded part right in the zip tie, just like that. Okay, easy peasy. And I'm just keep going around. I'm going to put another piece of greenery. Again, we're going to make sure it's pushed right up, bend it a bit, put it into the zip tie, and you do the zip tie up right below where the bush starts. Okay, now if you want, you most definitely can just go right across with some hot glue onto your mesh. What the heck? There we go. Just in case, you know, it wants to slide up or somebody grabs the greenery. It doesn't come out of the zip tie because it's zip tied plus glued. All right, and we're going to spread this out a little bit. Make it look pretty. So you can see all that beautiful greenery. I know it's beautiful. Wait till I put the sign on. You can see how perfect it matches. Okay, the next one again is a ribbon. So it's ribbon, greenery, ribbon, greenery. Cut these zip ties off. So flip it up, make sure they're both about the same length. Put the end of the ribbon in and do it up. If you want, you could even add glue here too, but you really don't need to. It's a little bit more secure than the greenery is. I'm just kind of hiding the ribbon underneath the green. So like I said at the beginning, this is one of those less is more. No, the mesh is not heat sealed. Yeah, I'm starting to like greenery too. That's why a lot of my kits I did add. I don't want to sell greenery, so Judy, I have enough stuff. I don't want to sell greenery at all, but I will add greenery to my kits. Open that up. So doing it this way, no, Judy. You get that professional look, but it's so easy to make. Now I literally could walk away right now and come back a week or two later and still know where I left off. So if your hands are tired or whatever, or you're tired, you can walk away and come back. It's still going to be exactly the same. Oh, ribbon. I just don't have the space, Judy, the manpower, or the clientele. Believe it or not, we don't have a ton of Canadian customers. We have about 90% are American. So it already costs too much for shipping in Canada. Okay, so we just can't justify it. I'm so sorry. Again, I'm just putting it right in, doing the zip tie right below. And we spread it all out. A little bit of glue. Put zip ties in. I'm going to go around and put these zip ties in. And I just want to reiterate again, you could have put your ribbon in with your mesh with one zip tie, same with the greenery, put the mesh in and with the greenery over top and then just zip it all up. Newbies or anybody having have hand issues or whatever, this is an easy way to do it without having to struggle. And again, this is one of those wreaths where once you cut your mesh, and you can do everything in your lap. Just have your supplies around you. This is a big long one. Make your petals, stick it in, put your ribbon in. Like you can cut everything on your lap, except your mesh. Cutting mesh on your lap is hard. Okay. They're all in, so let's just whip these in now. I don't know if you guys noticed this, I am actually doing it upside down so you guys can see what I'm doing. So if it looks like I'm struggling a bit, I am. Only because, like I said, I'm doing it upside down for the good of you guys. Yes, the ribbon is 1.5 inch. And we'll go around and open all our greenery. Well, thank you, Chris Merritt. It takes me a few days to do when I'm doing kits at the wholesaler. And I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off most of the time when I'm there. All right, so we are done with our ribbon. And we are done, well, we have one piece of greenery left. I'll probably incorporate it maybe into a bow or something. All right, gonna go around, cut your zip tie tails off. You can hit those, you just need a little bit. Now you don't need any at all. This is just extra security. And again, like I said, you can do it just a little strip right over top of your ribbon tails too. Nothing will come out then. Alrighty. Now I'm gonna make sure all my greenery is open and looks pretty. And once it's in there, you can move it up a bit because it's all wired, right? So. And it's in the zip tie and glued, so don't be scared to move it around and stuff. We're almost done, we're almost done. Okay. Shoulder is a mess today. Good God, what did they do to me yesterday? I did a few exercises and had the laser therapy, and that was it. All right. And then we'll go around. Well, we can do this at the end of the wreath. You just take your little clam thing and you can just pry it apart, and it makes a really, really pretty kind of ruffle when you separate it, but it's still flat because we wanted more of a flat wreath because the sign is so large. Okay, last but not least, we're gonna stick in. I have to stand up because this is getting quite large. We're just gonna mesh. And it's the clam thing again. Now you can put the mesh in a little further because the only part you'll see of this mesh is the top of the, hold on, that went in crooked, is the top of the snowdrift. That's better. So I'm just going to put it in about to there because I don't want to cover up any of the greenery or my ribbon. So it's about 2 inches in. Always something new with Unique in the Creek, right? I think every time you watch me, you'll probably learn something, a little something new. Oh, I can't wait to put that sign on. Wait till you guys see. Does you guys, when you wreathing stuff, do you stand or do you sit? I'm just curious. Because you know me, about 90% I'm sitting. I'm just curious what others do. Oh, thank you, Jackie. I'm glad you learned. Sit, stand. It's probably going to be half and half. Stand. Even when we are making a flower wreath, like a petal flower wreath, you stand. Stuck to me. So this video, I have edited yesterday's video and uploaded it on YouTube. So when you get your kits, you don't have to listen to all my talking and everything at the beginning. And I will do the same for this one. Do you stand too, Tina? From Ohio. Ohio. That's where Tina Kelly is, Ohio. Yeah, see, that's why I sit, like, because of my back. Pay attention more. So now I'm going to get done here. So we only used one roll of this mesh. And this wreath is about 25 inches. 25 inches. Oh, I'm just going to use the whole thing. It's a long piece, but actually, maybe it is too big. I don't want it too bulky. This is how much mesh I have left off the roll. We use the whole roll. You haven't even seen it finished yet, Chris. All right, we are done. Cut these off. There we go. Yay! So you can see once you can set, well, these are kind of tight because they're not very long, but you can open up your clamshell and even like kind of take the two edges and go one left with one, go right with the other, and it'll make a really cute kind of different looking ruffle. And I'll show you from the side what it looks like. Just going around doing row 2, opening it up. Okay, fix the ribbon. And it's fluffier now. Okay, let's put our sign on now. We are done all that. So the side, it's not very deep, but you can see those really cool ruffles when you spread them open. I have to spread more open, but that didn't sound right. But let me bend these back. All right, so I'm gonna put my sign on right in the middle, right down those 2 holes. First thing I'm going to do though is put my hanger on. So I'm going to use the 2 holes right at the top above the Unique in the Creek symbol. I just use a zip tie. You can use whatever you want. It looks good. There's our hanger. Okay, you ready? Oh, I was going to use this too. I'm just going to cut it off. So I'm just going to go right down the center. I will use a little bit of glue under my sign and glue it more to the mesh and everything once it's in and exactly where I want it. And before I commit and pull this right down, I'm just moving these little ruffles to the outside of the sign. This one's too short here. There we go. So it kind of ruffles around your sign here. It makes a nest for your sign. Oh shoot, I pulled it off. All that. Okay, now you don't want to pull too hard. I'm going to give it a twist in the back. And then I'll pull my ruffles up again. So they just, that row 3 kind of just peeks up from the sign. Like I said, kind of like a nest. It's a bit short, I need to pull it out a bit. There we go. Hi, Laurie. Were you still working?
No.
Oh. There we go. I'm going to twist and cut the excess back down the hole, and there, that is all you see at the back of the wreath. That's your back. You can fix your kerfuffles when it's upside down like this. Alrighty. Look how pretty. Isn't it pretty? Of course, you have to go around in ribbon tails. I love the natural with the lavender and green. Look how pretty that is. Do you like it, Laura?
I do.
It's pretty, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Just a little bit of greenery and some of this lavender. And there we go, we are done. Now what I would do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue once I'm happy. Make sure everything is up. So you see that border stripe is just peeking. I'm going to take a little bit of glue, my hot glue. I'm just going to put it right under in a few different areas. Alrighty. Make sure my sign is straight and then just push down just a little bit to let the glue grip. And there we go. We have a gorgeous wreath that will last you all spring to summer with this beautiful greenery, professional looking wreath. You can brag to your friends. And of course, I'm going to move my greenery once everything is done. Like I said, you can tip it or whatever. Now, I was thinking of putting just a little bow. Let's see. Like a single looped bow. Hold on. Actually, that would probably look really cute. I do have one more piece of lavender. I don't know where I would put it. I probably won't put it. I am just going to make a cute little bow though. So I'm just going to cut. I don't know how long I did this. 12 inches. Look at that, eh? And that looks good. We'll do a piece at 24 inches. Fold it in half. Take your end, go past that half mark. Bring the top, go past that half mark. Pinch it right in the center. We're going to put it on top of here, the little tails here. And then I'm just going to go around with a zip tie. I don't know where these long zip ties came from. Now you don't have to add a bow. I think it'll look really cute though. Just a simple one. And you want to make sure that the two crossovers of that bow are in the zip tie. Tight. Put that zip tie head right at the bottom. Cut it off. And we have a super cute little bow. We still have lots of ribbon left, so you have enough probably for another project to use a little bit in. And I think I'm just going to glue it. Just going to glue it right in the center there. There we go. Isn't that cute? Oh, looks perfect. All right. I love it. So there it is. And of course, once you put it on the door, you're going to fix your ribbon tails a gazillion times before you take your picture and the greens. But there you go. That's the spring welcome bunnies, the watercolor. There you go, my friends. All right. Oh, the side view. I'll show you the side view. So it's not very deep. So it will fit between two doors. The greenery will just get pushed back a little bit. Right now I have it kind of tilted up, but it will fit between two doors. Alrighty, that's all I got for you today. Tomorrow is obviously the oval sage and peach. I believe that's at 8 o'clock. And tonight we have Jackie Blewett on her first Unique in the Creek live for us. So make sure you come and cheer her on. VIPs, I got to figure out, I totally forgot about the VIP, probably because Michelle's away. I never even thought. But I'll figure something out and we'll let you guys know. I know it is beautiful. Look at that. Super cute. And not too much ribbon, not too much greenery. It's just like absolutely perfect. Perfect. All right, everybody. We will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Make sure you come back, though, to watch Jackie, because I've seen her pictures and you're going to want to watch. Bye, everybody.